Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. This is a video of the PC version. Before I even start, knowing for a fact that this video is guaranteed to bring hate from many corners, I must remind those who wish to listen that this is not a review. It is a first impressions video, as is, in fact, every video in the WTF Is series. Modern Warfare 3 is the latest in what appear to be annual releases of the Call of Duty franchise, and this one is produced by what's left of Infinity Ward and, of course, Sledgehammer, a newly formed team by Activision. You'll know that half of the Infinity Ward guys, after a big legal spat with Activision, ran off and formed Respawn, which was then put under the banner of EA. Whatever the case, this game came out about a week after Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 evidently positioned to launch just before that, which might explain why the PC version is full of horrendous bugs. Whatever the case, I am going to show you a few replays and a few interface things and give you my thoughts after a few hours of playing this game. The first thing I'd like to point out is that playing this game for 3 hours, which is what I've put in before putting together this first impressions, has given me a headache. Not only has it given me a headache, it's given me ridiculous eye strain. You want to know why? Let me show you. Okay, there's your video options. Yep, this looks fine. Nothing really unusual here. Let's click Advanced Video. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay, cool. Selection of options. Where is the Field of View option? The answer is there isn't one. This game is locked at what I think is between either 60 or 65 FOV. Yeah. Those of you who don't know what FOV is Field of View. What does that mean? That means that it is the angle what you can see on the screen. Yeah, it's the angle of what you can see, and beyond that, what is effectively a cone, you can't see anything to the left or right of you. It inhibits your peripheral vision. Now, as a human, your FOV is fairly high. Yeah? You can see quite a lot in your peripheral vision. However, in Modern Warfare, you can see, I believe, around 60 to 65 degrees in front of you, which means that there's a large portion of the environment that you will not be able to see at any given time. I'll show you how that affects you while we go into one of these. Now, if you go into the vault, one of the nice features that Call of Duty has had for a while is the fact that it automatically saves all your replays. There are some pretty bad gameplays from here, for me. They are absolutely awful. A lot of Call of Duty is about learning the maps and things like that, and until you learn the maps, which is even more important considering the limited FOV, because most of the time you're not going to know where the enemies are. You're just going to have to base it on where they usually are based on your experience of the map. It's very, very vital. So let's go into this domination mission on Village, and I can show you exactly what's going on with it. I've always liked the replay feature, honestly. It's something that Battlefield really, really needs. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, pretty much every FPS I would love to have that particular piece of functionality. Alright, you got your replay controls down there. We don't really need them, so we're just going to focus on my replay here. I'm using a SPAS 12 shotgun, which my experience of the shotgun in Modern Warfare 3 so far is they're not amazingly great, so I think I just switch out to a submachine gun in later gameplay. Anyway, so, FOV, you can see that it's a very, very narrow field of view, which means that anything outside of that field of view is probably going to shoot you. All the times that you die in Modern Warfare, you will be killed by somebody you cannot see. Now, it's possible that you'll be killed by somebody who is behind you, which can happen in every FPS. There's nothing unusual about that. Someone sneaks up behind you, kills you, that's fine. Someone outflanks you, that's fine. The thing is, outflanking in Modern Warfare is really quite easy, because if you were to get the kind of feel, I think you'd actually have to be wearing goggles in order to have this narrower field of view. You're kind of like a horse, I suppose. You're wearing blinkers or whatever, but it stops you from seeing anything to the left or right of you. Your peripheral vision in this game is completely and totally gone. Now, the way that this works on console is it's actually all right. And the reason it's actually all right is because on console you're sitting quite far away from your television screen, so the peripheral vision actually isn't so much of an issue. When you're in front of a monitor, generally speaking, you don't have a lot of peripheral vision because you're quite close to it, and by the peripheral vision here, I'm actually talking about your peripheral vision as opposed to the peripheral vision in the game. That's probably the most times in a single sentence that I've actually said the word peripheral. Whatever the case, having a very narrow field of view causes a number of things. One, for me, it causes a great degree of eye fatigue and eye strain. Simply because your brain is trying to process, and this is how bad shotguns are, by the way. You see how many times I hit him? Good God. Anyway, your brain is trying to process the fact that, where is my peripheral vision? It's like you are zoomed in all the time. It's like you spent 3 hours looking down a pair of binoculars. Only the binoculars didn't really magnify all that much. What they did do is cut off your peripheral vision completely. So that, for me, causes eye strain. It actually causes me headaches and a little bit of motion sickness. Now, it really depends on who you are as to how much motion sickness this is going to cause you. Some people can deal with this no problem. I can't. It's actually caused me issues in Resident Evil 5 on the PC, for instance, and pretty much anything with a narrow field of view of 65 or lower. To their credit, I believe this is actually higher than the field of view in Modern Warfare 2, which I think was 55, which is absolutely goddamn disgraceful. Yes, that game had a number of problems. Okay, so I've talked about that, and I have to stress that that problem is so major that I have no desire to continue playing the game. Any game that makes me feel uncomfortable, if I play it for more than 15 minutes, is a game that I am not going to want to play for any degree of time. I did not have this problem with Black Ops. Why? Because Black Ops did allow you to go up to a fairly reasonable, I think it was 80. And 80 is not ideal. I prefer 90. I have quite a large monitor. I go for 90 to about 100 at maximum, and that for me is good. You know, that's a good amount. I can do that in Battlefield. I can do that in, say, the forthcoming game Tribes Ascend. It lets you push your FOV to very high levels indeed. Again, personal preference. That was a fairly terrible shot, wasn't it? Good God. And I think that part of the problem I actually have been shooting in this game is the disorientation and eye strain that I get from playing with this narrow FOV. Because you feel motion sick and a little bit disorientated, it's an absolute pain in the ass to shoot anybody. Some people don't have this problem, I do. Anyway, the narrow FOV in this game also encourages certain tactics. It encourages an over-reliance on the minimap, which is in the top left of the screen, as you can see right there. And that's why things like UAVs are extremely important, and radar scanning and anything like that. That's extremely important, because otherwise you're not likely to have any real warning as to what's coming in from either side of you. Most of the time the battlefield is very, very loud, so hearing footsteps outside of certain maps on, say, 8-player free-for-all, which is where hearing footsteps is going to be the most important to you, is not impossible. You're not going to be hearing it on Domination in any kind of ground war mode, which is 16 players. They boast that this is a large game type. 8 versus 8 is large since the frack when? Good lord. I'm pretty sure you can have more than that in Quake World. Battlefield obviously supports up to 64, but that's got its own problems. I'll probably talk about that in a future video. Please bear in mind that I am not a massive fan of Battlefield 3 either. I have a ton of problems with that game as well. But I was extremely disappointed to find this one basic problem with Modern Warfare 3 that will absolutely prevent me from enjoying it on PC unless there is a patch to fix it. You might wonder why they chose to do that. Usually, FOV techniques are used in games that are primarily developed for consoles. Now, one reason, of course, is the fact that you are sitting away from the screen, and a really, really large field of view is not suitable for first-person shooter on a television that you're sitting a very, very far distance away from. But this has become more of a problem over the last few years because console hardware is out of date. Console hardware is 7 years old. Simple as that. And as a direct result, it cannot render all that many advanced things. That should be fairly obvious to you, I would imagine. Now, what happens is that if you have a very wide field of view, it's having to render more on the screen at any given time, which consoles cannot handle. So what they do is they narrow that field of view in order to reduce the amount that has to be rendered on the screen, which means that they can get the frame rate up to, you know, at least the bare minimum of 30. You'll see a lot of games running at 30. The really good ones run at 60, but that's becoming less and less common because graphic technology has to advance, and yet the hardware remains the same, which is one of the massive problems with console development going into its later life. You simply cap out on what you can do with the hardware, and at that point you have to start putting in little tricks in your programming and development in order to squeeze out a little bit extra graphical fidelity that people are expecting in this day and age. But you have to sacrifice gameplay functionality in the process. Alright, I've talked enough about FOV, so let me talk about a few other things. So, Modern Warfare 3 features a system whereby kill streaks are in the game, but there are 3 different ways of kind of acquiring them. The first way is Assault. Assault is just your standard Call of Duty kind of thing where you get kill streaks, you get things to throw at your enemy. They are usually quite powerful. Now, in Modern Warfare 3, those kill streaks also stack, so you've got very much a rich get richer, poorer get poorer kind of problem. Oh, hey, look. That was a Predator missile or something falling on some guy. It's wonderful, isn't it? The game doesn't actually involve shooting people, it involves throwing kill streaks at them. And the guy who gets the momentum is going to continue to get that momentum as he stacks up more and more kills to a lot of the really ridiculous kill streaks like the AC-130, going all the way through to Osprey Gunner and all sorts of things. There's even something called the Juggernaut suit, which is hilarious. It makes you nigh on invincible. You get a hold of this thing, you run around with it, you are spotted on the map by everyone, but it's really hard to kill that person. It's absolutely laughable. It's like getting invulnerability almost. Yeah, some of the kill streaks in Modern Warfare 3 are particularly odd. I mean, Black Ops had its share of really silly kill streaks as well, but yeah, Juggernaut suit takes it to a whole nother frickin' level. Alright, okay, that, I believe, has now been completed, so we can end that film. Gotta say, I've always liked the replay system. The amount of stuff you can do. You can upload upload clips directly, not cliffs, and manage different segments, jump to different things, change your camera around. That's good. In fact, I think that pretty much all FPS games should have that. If you want to be able to produce any kind of film based on a game, it's nice when it has a good replay system. And Modern Warfare 3 does have a good replay system. It's good, like Black Ops was good, and previous Call of Duty games have been good. It's good stuff. You've also got an online vault. You can upload replays to that, and you can also see your friends' replays in said vault. Alright, let's go on to another one. I've got some really bad KDs on some of these. That's so awful. Look at that. 10 to 28 is disgraceful. If I had the time and patience to practice the game and learn the maps, I have no doubt that that would change. But I don't. Not at the moment, anyway. Alright, let's watch this one. This is a different game mode called Kill Confirmed, and on this one, you're trying to grab dog tags from the ground in order to push your team's score higher in order to actually win it. It's kind of a cool game mode, and one of the things I will say about Modern Warfare 3 is it has a ton of game modes, absolute massive number of game modes, good selection there. All the stuff like Gun Game, One in the Chamber is there. Gun Game is something I found a lot of enjoyment of, even in Counter-Strike back in the day, and of course in Black Ops and things like that. It's good that they've included that. Admittedly, it's all unranked, and that will allow me to talk about some of the problems that this game has on PC, a major problem in fact. Now you might have heard this game uses Steamworks and it has a server browser, and everyone rejoiced and yay, it's got a server browser. How wonderful is that? Server actually works fairly well, honestly. It works better than Battlelog, that's all I could say there. But, and here's the biggest but, guess what? You can't earn any experience on a dedicated server. No, in fact, in order to earn experience, you have to play ranked. What is ranked? Ranked is matchmaking peer-to-peer. Yes, I kid you not. Those of you who have played on a console know exactly what that involves. It's matchmaking lobby. Those of you who play games on PC might be confused by this system. And you should be, because it's terrible. It was designed for consoles. And it's terrible. So, as a result of having peer-to-peer play, you've got all sorts of issues like the old bugbear that people were experiencing in Modern Warfare 2. Host migration failed, then the whole game crashes, and you have to go into another lobby. That's a problem. Lag issues, including hits simply not registering. You can watch on kill cams. This actually happened in Black Ops, funnily enough, just because it had really terrible netcode. It even happened on dedicated servers. It happens here in peer-to-peer mode. I haven't really seen any evidence of it on dedicated servers, but I've barely played on dedicated servers, because of course I'm trying to unlock stuff. I don't want to be on a dedicated server. I need to unlock some decent guns and what have you, so how the hell do I do that? Simple answer being that I can't. You cannot do it on a dedicated server, which is absolutely disgraceful. That said, to counterpoint that, in private matches, you do have a large number of options like unlocking everything, tons of game modes and things like that. So if all you want to do is play with your friends, cool. But, again, we come back to the same problem as I was talking about earlier, which is why would you want to play a game like this on PC? And honestly, the answer is you wouldn't. There is no real reason to. It doesn't have a good number of PC-specific features. It's not a good-looking game either. Can you see the texture quality all over this game? It is fairly abysmal, honestly. It is an ugly, ugly game. It's got a couple of extra functions on the PC that supposedly help it out, like a little bit of anti-aliasing. You can only go up to 4 times on AA, by the way. which is not exactly great. It's hard capped at what appears to be 60 FPS, and some people make the argument, oh, that's great for competitive play. No, it isn't. No one's going to play this game competitively on PC. Are you freaking kidding me? There's a reason why COD 4 is really the only game that is played competitively on PC out of the Call of Duty series at this point, because that was actually fairly well balanced, worked pretty well on dedicated servers, didn't have these lag issues and so forth. Modern Warfare 2 certainly was not played competitively on PC, and one can hardly blame anyone for that. That stuff is only played competitively on console, and the competitive console scene is nowhere near as large. Not that it's wrong to play competitively, and by that I mean, of course, tournaments and clan play on console. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. If people want to do that, that's cool, but we are also talking about the idea of playing FPS on a machine whereby the controller is subpar for the genre, and it has to incorporate a degree of auto-aim in order to make that happen. Tell me how that's competitive when the game adjusts your aim for you somewhat yourself. Explain how that is competitive. It isn't. It's easy. That's what it is. If I wanted to play FPS on console, I would, but I don't, because mouse and keyboard is an infinitely superior method of control. And that's just not the PC fanboy in me talking, that's just me saying, oi, look, this is a way of accurately aiming whereby everything relies on skill and the game doesn't auto-correct your damn fire for you. I mean, come on. That is a massive crutch, and it only works because everyone's got it, but even then, you can't really trust the game and trust the results of a match when it's tarnished by that very idea. The PC version of this game is gash. It's as simple as that. Modern Warfare 2 had a similar problem. The PC version of Black Ops had loads of problems on launch, some of which Modern Warfare 3 does not appear to have. Like, really bad lag on Black Ops launch. You remember that when I put out my first video of Black Ops on my channel. I pointed out all sorts of lag problems in that game. Big problems with the netcode that were not fully fixed. Also major issues with spawning positions. Black Ops had a lot of problems of its own, as well as weapon imbalance and stuff like that. No doubt issues with that will become more apparent as we play through Modern Warfare 3 as well. But I have to say that there's a reason why the PC code of this game was not given out to reviewers, because they would have hammered it for the problems that it has. This game gives me a headache. It's given me a headache even watching it in a window. That's terrible. I feel mild nausea just watching this game. And honestly, I don't even care about my KD or learning the game or whatever. I have no doubt that I could get the same kind of KDs that I got in Black Ops, which were pretty damn good. You know, I wasn't bad at gun game or anything like that. I could do those things if I wanted to. And I don't. Leave the really good COD gameplays to those playing on console, because you can see exactly why this game is a popular console game. You get into it, you blast away, you get persistent unlocks. That's actually fine. I see why people enjoy this game. I'm not calling COD a bad game. I wouldn't. I played a lot of Black Ops. I got good fun out of that game. I played about 60 hours of it. It was fun for me. If I wanted a dumb game where I could just jump in and play Lone Wolf and kill dudes and get little things popping up on my screen that says, hey, you're doing really well. God, I'd say it's like the Cub Scout mentality. I'm getting merit badges. Woo! That's okay. That's fine. You know? It's junk food. It's nice to get every now and again. But Black Ops actually had less problems for me than Modern Warfare 3 does. Black Ops was pleasant enough to play because of that field of view option. This is not pleasant to play. This makes me feel ill. My eyes hurt. Gaming's not supposed to make my frickin' eyes hurt. I have to wonder if they designed this game in order to sell more gunner glasses. Who the hell knows? Fine on console, not fine here. I have to say, actually, the replays don't seem all that accurate. Because if you see me sort of waving my gun around every now and again, I don't even know how that happened. Ugh, Jesus. As a game, it annoys me. It does, in a lot of different ways. If I were to talk about something non-specific to the PC version, dying to stuff you cannot see, dying to stuff that falls on your head because someone's unlocked some crazy thing and got an amazing kill streak, that is not particularly fun to me, honestly. I don't find that all that enjoyable. Now, there are options that you can play which allow you to go without kill streaks, for instance. You can play the Specialist, which actually unlocks a bunch of perks as you go through the game. You don't have to go for Predator missiles and pave lows and bombing runs and nonsense like that. You don't have to. That's fine. God, look at the bad pings we just saw there. But However, you can't even do that from the start because you've got to get to something like rank 20 or is it maybe even 25 to unlock the specialist to begin with. We'll have a look at the way weapons work, by the way, because those of you who played Black Ops might be confused as to how the weapon unlocks work in this game. Personally, I like the way that Black Ops did it. Black Ops let you earn points, which would let you unlock things that you so desired. For instance, if I wanted to, from the start of the game, kind of get a hold of a pair of akimbo SMGs and jump around like a freaking lunatic, I could do that. If I wanted to do stupid stuff, that's okay. I can do that. However, you cannot in this version, because it's back to the old Modern Warfare style of doing things, which is you have weapon levels. By using said weapon, you gain points, and you gain levels, and then you can unlock stuff. We have a look at the SMGs, for instance. I've got the MP5, and you get the UMP45 as a start. Those are your choices there. I always liked the P90, just the design of the weapon is kind of neat. Anyway, you got a proficiency here, as you can see there. You can unlock 2 attachments for the weapon, focus. These are all fairly obvious, honestly. They're pretty similar to what you're used to. And so see, I've got kick, reduced recoil while firing, obviously a very honest thing to get. And then you can unlock all this stuff. There's a bug in the PC version whereby some of this stuff is actually unlocked, but then grays out for no apparent reason. That's a bit of a pain. And then you've got all of this stuff here, thermal scopes, holographic sights, hammer scope, ACOG, rapid fire silencer, and all that good stuff. However, it unlocks in a very specific order. So, you know, I want a holographic sight because you know what? I'm most comfortable playing with a holo sight. I've got to get to weapon level 19 in order to get that. Why? Now, if I'm more comfortable playing with an ACOG scope, all of these sights have advantages and disadvantages, and all of these sights are honestly, in my opinion, personal preference. Why is it that I have to wait that long to get a hammer scope? I don't know what this is, so I'm not even going to say that I need it, but really, you know, if I want to use a holo sight, why do I have to wait until level 19 to use a holo sight? Surely that's personal preference. So why lock it that way? It's absolutely illogical. That, and also remember that weapon levels do punish you for using new guns, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, because if you want a little bit of variety, then you're going to have to force yourself to go through and unlock the stuff for it, and before you do that, everything is bloody useless. It's not just camo or anything like that. It's the idea that, for instance, with the UMP45, I don't have kick. So this weapon is objectively worse than my MP5. Why? Because I don't have access to any of this stuff. None. None. I don't even have camo, just to add insult to injury. I'm sorry, but Black Ops was a better system. It was. It really, really was. Letting the player choose based on the points they've unlocked, that's cool. Now, I don't mind having to work my way through to better guns. That's fine. I do mind having to work my way through to attachments to guns that are, more often than not, simply personal preference. Let me buy whatever the hell I want based on the points that I've saved up, and that's how it should work, in my opinion. Alright, you got your perks and usual stuff like that. Once again, you unlock them at various levels. Never really been a fan of that either. Well, Black Ops doesn't worry about that because you can unlock perks based on the amount of cash that you've earned. Strike packages. That's it. Level 20, as you can see right there. Specialist. This unlocks perks as you go through. You just absolutely ignore the idea of kill streaks. The more kills you get, the more perks are added on to your character in that game only. So you become basically a one-man army. As you can see, there's even a challenge there. OMA 1. Earn all the perk bonuses 3 times. Stuff like that. Loads of challenges. But you can't do that until level 20. Why? Hell if I know. Support, this is probably the easiest for anyone that hasn't played a Modern Warfare game before, simply because streaks persist through death, and a lot of these are designed to support your team. These are not particularly useful if you're playing in some of the game modes, like, say, free-for-all. More often than not, you won't want to be using that there. But if you're really, really bad at the game, like I evidently am at the moment, this is probably the best tree for you. You do get some nice stuff like the ability to deploy ballistic vests. Recon drone, very useful in a team-based environment if you're playing on domination or any of the more team objective-orientated modes. Some good stuff there. EMPs, Juggernaut. Jesus, I'm not even going to talk about Juggernaut. And then escort, airdrop, and all sorts of good stuff there. Now, these are actually, the way they do this is actually reasonable. You just earn unlock tokens every now and again, and you can spend it on whatever the hell you damn well please. So, if I wanted to unlock Juggernaut Recon, I can unlock Juggernaut Recon. And then that will select there, and you can, of course, take in 3 of these at any given time. And, of course, there are death streaks. Death Streak is a terrible idea. You want to know why Death Streak is a terrible idea? Because it rewards people for sucking at the game. I'm sorry. And I get these all the time because I suck at the game. I don't want to be rewarded for being terrible. Christ. Why would you want that? I mean, really now. I don't know. Martyrdom is still in, by the way. Stabby. Anyone that knows about martyrdom. Christ. Yeah. Just abysmal ideas. If I was to conclude on this title, based on what I've seen of the multiplayer over the first 3 hours, it shows two things. Arrogance and laziness from the remaining guys at Infinity Ward and the guys over at Sledgehammer. It really is. They've actually reused buildings from COD 4. That is proven. That was all over Reddit today. People made videos about it. So they've reused a ton of assets. They've not really moved the game all that far. And honestly, that's okay. To some degree, because some people will just buy this every year and not have a problem. And I don't blame those people, because you're talking about a game that can give a lot of enjoyment to some people. Some guy was saying on Reddit earlier, for instance, I got 400 hours of play out of the last Call of Duty game. Damn right that was worth my $60. I'm willing to buy the latest version. That's all right. I am actually okay with that. I don't view that as a problem. What I do view as a problem is when Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer simply do not bother to move the game forward in a meaningful manner. They go back to old ideas. They throw away a lot of the good ideas that Treyarch actually had, like the fact that kill streaks don't stack, the fact that death streaks aren't in the game at all, the idea of buying weapons with points and customizing your soldier to your liking rather than being forced through a mandatory series of unlocks for each weapon you go through, many of which, quite frankly, should be personal preference and are not, in fact, power. They seem convinced that their formula is great, and I beg to differ. If you play this on console and you enjoy it, I'm not going to condemn you for that. I totally understand. I understand the idea of playing through this game and having a little bit of fun with it. It's fine. If you want a game that is not smart, if you can just dip into it, and weapons are not difficult to handle because they're all hit scan, they all shoot in a straight line. You don't have to worry about bullet drop-off. I don't understand why some people don't like Battlefield 3, for instance. You can be taken out by someone hiding in a bush. It's actually very hard to see people in Battlefield 3. Not so hard to see them in Call of Duty, probably due to the fact that Call of Duty has graphics that originate somewhere in 2006. I get that. And if you want to play Modern Warfare 3 and not Battlefield 3, I respect your decision. Because, for God's sake, you're a gamer, you're spending money on games, you can play whatever the goddamn game you please. I do not care. Don't shove it in my face, but you play whatever makes you happy. Life is far too short not to do that. But what I'm telling you is that the PC version of Modern Warfare 3 is bad. It simply is. There's a couple of little things that I don't like as well. Allow me to demonstrate this by finding it in game. But before I do that, I'll show you what's available in Private Match, because this is one of the good points of this. So let's have a look at this. So, there are quite a few maps. There really are. It's good. This game launched with more maps than Black Ops did by a fairly significant margin. That's a good number of maps. There's more maps than there is in Battlefield 3, for instance. And certainly more maps that don't lag than there is in Battlefield 3. Game modes. Look at all these. Standard game modes. Then alternate modes. Some crazy stuff. Gun game, infected, one in the chamber, stuff like that. That's pretty good. And then you've got my modes. So you can actually customize modes and things like that. That's neat. That is seriously neat. And look at all of the options you've got here that you can actually customize in a private match. That's really good. I like that. That is something that blows Battlefield out of the water in terms of the sheer number of ways that you can play this game. Which is actually why I kind of want to play it. Because I like this flexibility. But I can't play it, because the PC version is bad. Headshots only. What a great way to practice. I mean, it's kind of like a weird version of Instagib. It's crazy the amount of stuff you can do here. You can have no health regen. Consider that for a second. Maximum health. Hardcore mode. You can even enable third-person mode if you so desire. You can do all sorts of stuff, and then you can save these settings and set everything up the way that you want it. You can even disable the intermission to go from game to game to game. The problem is that you can't level up in any of this stuff. So, since the point of Modern Warfare is really to unlock everything, until you unlock everything, and that's assuming you don't want a prestige, my god, please don't do that, that's so silly, then there's no point in playing these private modes. But I could definitely see myself playing these private modes, at least I could, if the game didn't make me feel freaking sick. Just want to point out, by the way, that in game lobbies you cannot Alt-Tab, or press the Windows key. In fact, if you Control-Alt-Delete to go to the Task Manager, it kicks you right back into the game, and you can't get to the Task Manager. What is with that? I mean, come on. During an intermission, you'd at least like to be able to say text chat. You can't do that in the lobby. You can text chat in game. And actually, the text chat in game is better than Battlefield 3's because it doesn't take up half the damn screen. That and you aren't limited to about 50 characters or whatever. But the very idea, the very freaking idea. Oh, man. Seriously. Bad. Did I just load in under this? I think I did, didn't I? Yeah, I just loaded into a private game. I'll try and... I think we're just going to jump into a game. I don't care if you see bad skill. I don't give a damn what people think of my skill in a game I played for 3 hours. I couldn't care less. It is... I'm not complaining about the fact that the game is unfair or anything like that. It's not unfair. On a basic level. The shooting is fine for what it is, i.e. incredibly simplistic, and not remotely realistic. That's a fact. Lots of other things that I like here. Look at all this stuff. You can mix up all sorts of different game modes. That's kind of neat. Playlists and stuff like that. Kill confirmed, I think, is something I quite enjoy, so we're going to go into this. I'm just going to play this straight up. I'm playing this in a window at the moment, so aiming might be quite difficult. And I'll see if there's any other problems that we can kind of point out as we go through this. I might point out here that I am enduring this game right now because it does make my eyes hurt. I'm sorry, it does. Alright. Oh, crap! I misconfigured my custom class, so I've now got the wrong sodding weapon. Can I change it in-game? Of course not! Let's leave the game, recustomize my custom class, and then go back into the game. There we go. Create a class, primary weapons, submachine gun, MP5, red kick, red dot, target dot reticule, whatever sodding camo, not that that actually matters in any way. Alright, let's find a game, playing kill confirmed. Go! Matchmaking is, I have to say, fairly fast, but in terms of matching people for ping and things like that, it doesn't seem to do a particularly good job of it. There is lag. I have had the host migrate failed thing happen twice. That's not that many times, honestly, considering that I've gone into maybe 20 games or so, and I haven't twice. It's still a 10% ratio of disconnection, which is not particularly good, but the problem more so is the lag and the delay in the hits not registering as opposed to anything else. Alright. Load the game, come on. Find the best host. The match is about to begin. There we go. Sort it out. Let's play through a quick match of this. Oh, that's wonderful. It set up a team of 4 on 5. How wonderful that is. Can people join in the meantime? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know, though. I'm not going to make that point one way or the other because I have no idea. We'll keep an eye on things. If the team stays at 4 members versus 5, then we'll enjoy playing this inherently unbalanced game from the start. How wonderful it will be. Alright, here we go. We are ready to get started. There we go, get people loaded in. Oh, that's cool. It looks like people can connect to it. That's nice. How kind of them. Alright, let's shoot some dudes. My volume is very low, so I'm certainly not going to be hearing anyone come at me here. So this is just a basic team deathmatch mode, only when someone dies, a dog tag drops in the corpse, you have to stand over it in order to grab it, and you can also deny the dog tags of your opponents. And you get points for doing that. So if you want to farm points, this seems like a fairly good mode to do it in. There we go, for instance, I've just denied a kill there. Oh, hi. You are mine, thank you very much. And I'll have your dog tag as well. Oh, hi, sup. I can't imagine playing Call of Duty in hardcore mode. I mean, you die so quickly anyway. Like, I came around the corner and it started firing before I even noticed he was there, so... In hardcore mode, it seems like an absolute goddamn nightmare. I know, I tried Black Ops in hardcore and it was horrendously bad. It was incredibly unbalanced game mode. I don't know how balanced it really is here. Alright, this is bad. This is very bad. Why did I take that? I don't even know. Okay, some guy hit me with a conch shell. How wonderful. Did I just... Oh, someone else killed me. Never mind. I was thinking, did I just die from my own bullet? That would have been embarrassing. I didn't even see anything in that kill cam. I don't even know how I died. Oh, well. Alright, guy over there, guy over there. Ah! Dolphin diving son of a... They haven't really fixed that either. You become unable to shoot if you move, but just you can simply sort of jump and then tap that to get down and then shoot like that. So dolphin diving happens. Dolphin diving, by the way, for those of you who don't know, is deliberately jumping on the ground in front of someone. For advanced players, it doesn't really work because people that have played the game an awful lot are very much used to it, and if you are lower on the ground, there's a chance that you will be shot in the head. Way more likely than it would be standing up, so it's not really such a problem at a high level, but it does tend to happen. I want to be very, very careful here. Like that. Oh god, where is that guy? Oh, he's there. Okay, he's mine. There we go. I shall have your dog tag as well. Thank you very much. Alright. Ooh, want to deny. Points! Wonderful points! Allow me to farm. This is what I'm here for. Give me your points and achievements and various medals and such. I'm doing terribly badly on here, but I'm certainly not doing all that well either. Where was that guy? I half hate playing the team modes because it's like, I want to get kills, and then someone else gets a kill before me. It's damn frustrating. But, nah. You don't see a lot of team play in this game anyway. It's just, you follow that guy, let him get shot first, and it's all wonderful. There you go. Also, remember, oh, whoa, okay, what the hell went on there? I don't even know. I think we have some crazy-ass kill streak or something. Most likely. Alright, where are the enemies? Where are the enemies? Actually, the first couple of hours of this game, I forgot that I wasn't using sleight of hand for the quick reload, so I kept dying because I reloaded after every sodding bullet. It's never a particularly good idea. At least equal KD, but I have awful score because I haven't been able to grab as many freaking dog tags as the other guys. Yes, the score is not really all that indicative of skill. To be fair, KD, unless you've got an extreme KD, is not all that indicative of skill either, because of course a lot of that KD could be from kill streaks and nonsense like that, which are extremely easy to use. You can rack up a ton of kills with them. Those of you who don't really know a lot about the game and see all these things like 57 to 1 KD, and you wonder, how the hell did someone manage that in this YouTube video? Usually it's they get to a certain amount and then they get some overpowered kill streak that allows them to farm a whole bunch more with no actual skill required. And usually that comes down to knowing the map and being able to do that, knowing the places where people tend to camp, knowing points where you yourself can camp. Alright, I've got myself a support reward. I'm going to dump that down here. Some wonderful ballistic vests. Come get them, folks. You get points for distributing these things. They give you a little bit extra ballistic resistance. Always wonderful to have. I'm still trying to work out whether or not it's just worth holding down the button with this gun. The ballistic characteristics of each weapon are something you have to learn as you go and just find a weapon that you like. I can't comment on balance either, because again, I didn't play a lot of Modern Warfare 2 at all. And honestly, I haven't played enough of this game to comment on whether or not a gun is balanced or unbalanced. The only thing that I have found is that I have a preference for shotguns, and I don't really seem to do all that well with shotguns in this particular version of the game. It's not all that good. That might just be a personal problem on my part. I don't know if... Oh, Christ. I don't know if they are underpowered or if I'm just awful with them. The standard class that you get before you create a class has a fairly powerful shotgun called the Striker, which is not unlocked until much later, but good luck ever being accurate with that sodding thing because it bumps you all over the place. It's pretty much an automatic shotgun. There we go. Well, if you grab that one, then I will have that one. How very kind of you. Alright, we've still got UAV up, so I'm not going to use mine yet. I think we've got an advanced UAV, so I think there's some guy might be around that corner. Oh, he knew I was there. That's fairly impressive, considering I was in a radar blocker. Oh well, never mind. Maybe I was slightly outside of the range of it. Or maybe he just suspected I was there because he saw the radar blocker. Radar blockers are sometimes used by noob campers. So it becomes obvious that someone is around that area. Alright. Oh, is that enemy? Oh, is that mine? I don't know. No, that's ours. Never mind. What can I say? I want points for blowing stuff up. That's how it works. The sort of sad thing about it is I could just enjoy it as a dumb casual game. And there's nothing wrong with playing casual games. You know, again, it's your own choice to do that. I'm not going to condemn you for it. Leisure time is a limited and precious thing. Make sure that what you're doing you enjoy. But because of the FOV, it is just absolutely impossible to like it. He's around there. I know he is. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Lol. Get me some dog tags. And then get shot in the back. But it's okay, because I'm collecting dog tags, which means my score is higher. God, so bad at this game. But, again, I honestly don't care. Ooh, you're good at Call of Duty. It's like, it's the PC version. Who gives a damn? You're good at being able to tolerate major eye strain problems. How did I... He stole me kill. He stole me bloody kill, didn't he? By the way, this game just doesn't value assists in any way either. Like in Battlefield, you get a reasonable amount. You get suppression assists, and the amount of damage you do indicates how much that you get in terms of points and experience for giving an assist, yeah? If you do the majority of the damage, you'll get a bunch of points. But in this game, no. Assists are just like, nah. You fight in his general direction. You know, he has a pity point. It's not even worthwhile. Where the hell is he? Alright, I'm gonna follow these guys so that they get shot before I do. Sounds like a good plan. Haven't got a recon drone yet, I don't think. Come on. Where are the bastards? Carrying a grenade around like this is stupid. I'll get shot. But so will he. Yoink. I'll have that red one as well. Thank you very much. Thank you. Why is it that I'm doing better in this live game while commentating, while not paying any goddamn attention, in a limited window with barely any sound, than I've done in any of the previous games? I don't even know. Not exactly great, but not terrible. 1 for 1 KD. It's okay. Not too shabby. Well, I think I even got the final kill there. How wonderful. Unlocked! Noises! Meow! Guitar solo and so forth. Yeah, it just makes you feel like you're being rewarded, doesn't it? There you go. That unlocks that weapon. Another camo, rapid fire mode for the MP5 or whatever. Loads of new challenges, and hey, look at all these stats you get thrown at you. And that, I think, is why Modern Warfare is such a popular game. It keeps giving you candy all the time for playing. It's like, here, have this candy. Here's some more candy. The problem with eating too much candy, of course, is that you get fat and sickly. In this game, that's exactly what's happening to me. Wait a minute. The weight problems might be my fault. Whatever the case. I do actually feel sickly playing this game, but nothing to do with that. I say, Modern Warfare 3 is an unimaginative game with very little strategy to speak of, very little team play to speak of, outside of an organized clan environment, which I don't even know is going to end up happening. It might happen with these tournaments that are supposedly going on with Call of Duty Elite, which you have to pay for. Let's not even get into that. But because of the problems with the PC version, I couldn't possibly recommend it, because the PC version is pretty awful. It speaks volumes when I say that Black Ops was a better game on PC. It was, sadly. Depressing, really, isn't it? This game is an example of how not to make shooters on PC, and hopefully a lot of other companies will look at it and say, huh, looks like we're pissing off a lot of people. Let's try and make our game decent. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'm just going to stop playing this game. Maybe take a little bit of a rest to get my eyes back in shape, and then go play some Tribes Ascend beta, which is actually kind of good. Modern Warfare 3, on the other hand, not so much. My name is TotalBiscuit. A look at PC version Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, it's about as bad as you expected. I'll see you next time.